A group of four, Leon and his younger brother Chaz. Vix and Todd steal artworks from rich folks and sell them to get easy money. Chaz often stays in the car to look out for danger while the rest of the group go in search of the targeted artwork. After selling the painting to Gregory, he offers them a different house to rob from, but Leon rejects it. Leon only wanted to get enough money to put his brother Chaz into university, and now he's got enough. When he tells his friends he turned the offer down, they persuade him to get it back because it is their only means of survival. They then take the job and head to the Redwick estate to steal a ceremonial knife. They are convinced no one is in the house because Gregory told them so. Vix breaks the main gate into the estate and soon, they find the building that houses the ceremonial knife. This time, Chaz begs his brother to let him go with them because it's boring when he's the only one left outside. So he allows him inside and tells him to be by his side always. Immediately Leon enters the house. The security alarm goes off and is loud enough that anyone around the estate can hear it. He succeeds in turning it off and calls the rest inside to start their search. When they enter the building, they see different artworks of animals mounted on the walls. When Vix enters a room upstairs, she sees a shadow hurriedly passing, but when she comes out, she sees no one there. Chaz notices a door that was locked when they entered the room earlier and informs his brother they are being monitored. Leon then suggests that they leave the place. When they call Vix to inform her about it, she doesn't pay attention to them and tries a necklace on. In no time, they all get trapped. When they regain consciousness, they find themselves tied up in a moving car. Catherine Redwick, the owner of the estate they tried to rob, lets them out with their hands tied. They are on a vast land and she pours urine on them. She confronts them saying they made a huge mistake by breaking into her ancestral home. She later wishes them good luck and leaves with Mallory, her bodyguard. Vix starts blaming Leon for telling them there was no one in the house, and while he explains that this wasn't his, Chaz notices his phone and wallet has been taken. They all check and find out theirs also have gone missing. Chaz wonders why they were not harmed, but rather they brought them there and wished them good luck. Having no other alternative, they start looking for a road which will lead them to a nearby town. As they move, Chaz hears a faint sound of a horn blowing. Later, they all hear it and then assume that they are a bit close to a road. Moments later, they see Catherine and some other men riding towards them. Immediately Leon sees the dogs with them. He senses danger and tells them to run to save their lives. They find a river and cross it to the other side. Catherine expresses her joy at the game she has put them in. She tells them to continue their run and they'll also catch up in a short time. They find some branches of a tree and pick them up to protect themselves if they get attacked. As they walk through the fields, Todd's stick hits a trap set for bears. They turn around and see more of the traps lying in the grass. Leon tells them to follow his steps to avoid getting trapped. As they move, they hear Catherine and her people coming after them again. They find a wall ahead of them, and as they help each other to climb it, Todd falls and gets trapped. Chaz and Leon come down to take the trap off his leg. The dogs keep approaching them as they get Todd to the top. Leon helps his brother up, and when it gets to his turn to climb up, the dogs attack him and feed on his body. When Chaz, Vix and Todd find a better place to rest and plan their escape, Vix suggests they hunt them back, but Chaz tells them Leon would rather they flee and not attack. Leon regains his consciousness. When Catherine sees him, she orders the ceremonial knife and slaughters Leon with it. She applies the blood on his nephew's face, saying it is their tradition. They congratulate him and hand him the knife, urging him to keep the tradition alive. Vix, Todd and Chaz find a road. They hear a car coming their way and they hide. Vix lies on the ground pretending to be dead. When Mallory sees her, he stops the car and moves towards her. He calls the others and informs them about it. Todd hits him from behind when he gets close to Vix's body. Chaz gets into the car to move it, but he realizes the keys are not in there. In no time, they hear Catherine and the others approaching them, so they run to hide. Todd tells Chaz to find help while he stays back to be a distraction to Catherine and her people. Chaz and Vix find an empty farmhouse nearby. They run inside and break into it. When Catherine and her people get to the spot where the group split up, they notice the split and also decide to do the same. Back in the farmhouse, Vix and Chaz find food and weapons. Hugo and his son get to the farmhouse and find Chaz and Vix's footprint in the sand. As they descend upon the food, they see Hugo singing about them. Hugo takes the back door and asks his son to blow the whistle when he sees something. When he gets to the back door, Vix sprays something which confuses the dog. She gets inside and sprays their bodies with it too. Chaz and Vix set off an explosion. Miles gets into the kitchen, but he notices the explosion later. He gets out of the house with half of his face burnt and falls to the ground. Vix is happy they brought one of them down, but Chaz isn't. He did that only to distract them and meant no harm. Todd joins them later and they continue to flee from Catherine and her group. As they walk, Todd shows them the radio he stole from Mallory. Chaz tries to call an emergency line, but when it doesn't work, Vix tells him there is no help in this wilderness, so it's either they kill them or they'll get killed. When they reach a junction, Chaz recognizes it's the road they used when entering the estate, but the signs to direct them out have been taken away. While they figure out what to do next, Catherine calls Mallory's radio to make Mallory and Remington track their location. She threatens them more, and when they finally get their location, she hangs the call up. Chaz then climbs a tall tree to check if they're close to any road or village. He sees a village nearby, so they decide to go there, and as they run, Catherine and her group follow them. Todd gets tired, so Chaz ties his wound up and asks him to leave while they stay back to attack. Hugo attacks Todd. He stabs him with the ceremonial knife. He struggles to pull it out, but before he could do anything else, Hugo grabs the gun and shoots him. Catherine asks her uncle and Mallory to get home because she wants to do the hunting alone. When night falls, Chaz and Vix hide behind Mallory's car. In the woods, Catherine finds Todd's body and condemns Hugo for killing him because it isn't the rule of the game. Hugo says his last words and falls to the ground with the knife at his back. While Remington dines, Vix appears, pointing a gun at him. She orders the rest of them to kneel, and when Mallory tries to speak, Chaz showers him with urine and hands him some ropes to tie the others up. Remington swiftly picks a knife, hides it in his jacket, and walks towards Vix, belittling her that she doesn't have the guts to pull a trigger. When he draws closer to Vix, Vix pulls the trigger without even thinking. Mallory attacks her and tries to strangle her to death. Chaz quickly blows Mallory's horn and lets out the dogs. Vix sets herself free and the dogs pounce on Mallory. Chaz and Vix then escape with Mallory's car. Chaz drives too fast and accidentally crashes into a tree. The branch of the tree breaks into the glass and pierces Vix's chest. He drives the car backwards and brings Vix out of the car. Then they continue the rest of the journey on foot. Vix falls and tells Chaz she can't continue anymore. Chaz can't stand the sight of the last person remaining dying slowly in his presence. Vix continues, telling him to save himself, and he does. Catherine sees Vix lying helpless and gives her some liquor to drink as she takes her last breath. Soon after, Chaz finds a bar and enters it, breathing heavily with blood in his shirt. They offer him a seat and call the police as he wishes. While Chaz waits for the police to arrive, he looks around the room and sees a horn just like the one he saw in Catherine's house the night they broke in, and then a picture of Catherine with the woman who welcomed him in. He dashes out in fear and meets the police outside. He gets into the car and they drive him away. Chaz watches the road and notices the policeman has taken the route to Catherine's house. He cries bitterly, knowing that his life is also coming to an end. Catherine awaits him in front of the house and congratulates him for surviving the game. She offers him a bag of money, but Chaz refuses it, saying he'll report her to the police. She laughs at him and says they will never believe him. His van arrives and he takes the blood money and leaves. At the end of the movie, we see Gregory closing his shop. He enters his car and finds a package with a horn in it. At that moment, the police arrive and take him away for dealing in stolen artworks. Chaz watches him from a distance and walks away.